Hey Tuskegee, welcome to another episode of Tuskegee Online, your digital platform that brings you up close and personal with the candidates that are seeking your vote in the City of Tuskegee municipal elections on August 26th. Today we are meeting and sitting down with Ms. Bernice Frazier. We all know Bernice, and she's going to talk to us about her vision for the future of Tuskegee. I invite all the candidates to come onto the forum to share their vision for a better Tuskegee. Now, without further delay, let's get into this discussion with Ms. Bernice Frazier. Ms. Frazier, welcome to the forum. How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am great. Let's get into these questions about the vision for Tuskegee in the future. First of all, what is your vision for Tuskegee over the next 4 years? And how do you plan to involve citizens in making that vision a reality?
Thank you, Patrick, for asking me that question on what my vision for Tuskegee is for the next 4 years. But first, we have to look at where we are currently. You see, Tuskegee sits at a crossroads. And the decisions that we make as a community, as a city council, is going to affect us for the next 50 years. I want us to understand what our future is going to be for our children and our children's children. And I planned on building a legacy that they will be proud to inherit. So to do that, we have to look at some major areas. We have to talk about infrastructure, not just talk about it and talk about streets being refixed and utilities upgraded. We have to have a plan, which I have. I have a plan for how we can deal with infrastructure and building Tuskegee back up. We have to increase our economic development for the city of Tuskegee. I understand what's happening across the county, but the city of Tuskegee needs to have its own direction on how you're going to increase the economic values in this city. And you can do that, first of all, by having an economic development officer just for the city of Tuskegee. We need to address security and safety. We need to look at how our officers are treated in this community, what their pay is, so that we ask them to put their lives on the line. We can't do that and pay them $10 and $12 an hour. So those are things we're going to be looking at. And my main focus for District 2 is to improve the Tuskegee Municipal Airport. That should be an economic growth for this community. And we need to look at how we establish it and moving forward.
What specific programs would you introduce to support this economic development and job creation in Tuskegee?
Patrick, the areas that I would look at to develop economic development and job creations in our community is first the structure and how we pursue it. We need to have an economic development officer. We need to have a department that deals with finding funds and searching out funds. And we also need an arm of that will develop programs and presentations that the city does to bring in revenue. I wholeheartedly believe that we could have 4 major events per year and this city would never be in the black. And the majority of the area in District 2 is open for development. As you know, that's the largest landmass that we have. And we have and house a lot of the economic growth that has happened so far in Tuskegee. We have the municipal complex. We have Exit 38 that has been developed with the pilot gas station and Sam Key in the industrial park. Now you may say, well, that's been done, and so why do we need a new person? Well, you need somebody with fresh visions. That took them the entire 5 years to reach. I think that we could develop businesses in Tuskegee that can happen in much shorter time and encourage people that have businesses here to grow them. And you have to also maintain the look of Tuskegee. We need to clean Tuskegee up. Downtown has buildings that are falling apart, not just houses, but the building structure, and we have to hold owners accountable. You just can't own property and then not take care of it. That's disrespectful to the city and to the citizens that live here. So there is a number of areas that we will reach out in for the development of Tuskegee in economic ways. Another thing I'd like to look at is the basic structure of support in Tuskegee. You know, in any town that you go to, you want good education, you want great health care access, you want to feel safe, and you want to have job development. Those are the basics that we need to look at and develop. And you can take each area and develop it that will make it turn around and work together as a unit. If you have a good education, you have excellent health care, and I'd just like to say I currently serve as the Macon County Health Care Authority, and we have been able to do a lot of things in the last 5 years that's improved health services for the citizens here. Our most latest adventure has been the purchase of a 3D mammogram machine with AI. It is the state of the art, and there's not another one in the radius that meets those same criteria. So you don't have to drive 20 and 30 miles to get services. You can go right 5 minutes around to Thomas Reed and get that service, along with other things and improvements that we have made. And our goal is to renovate and upgrade and bring 24-hour care here in several arenas.
That leads me into another question that you mentioned this. What has your role as chairwoman of the Macon County Healthcare Authority taught you about the current state of healthcare in this community, and how would you fix things?
Well, that is a good question, and it takes a comprehensive plan to address it. First of all, I'd like to say the Macon County Healthcare Authority and the board that I serve with is outstanding. Together, we have been able to accomplish a lot. The community may not know about everything because we don't broadcast it. We don't do the services for recognition, but let me just share a few things with you. We have paid off the bond where that building was built. We paid it off 10 years early, so we owe nothing on the building. We have repaired it. We have bought equipment. We put a state-of-the-art X-ray suite in there. We have bought devices to detect diseases. We have also purchased a zero freezer to house specimens and vaccines. And we did that during the COVID-19 pandemic. Working together with organizations in this community, we were able to reduce the number of deaths that we believe would have happened. Even though we didn't have a hospital, we still provided vaccinations, we've provided testing, we provided equipment, we gave out masks and gowns and gloves. And in addition, we got together with TMCCF, the Tuskegee Community Partnership, and we had developed a website, we provided a health newsletter, we even provided a hotline for people to call and to get information. And we were instrumental in developing a law that was instituted by the city of Tuskegee and the other municipalities in Macon County to address the issue of how you stay away from individuals that had during the COVID-19 pandemic with the wearing of masks, the 6 feet behind what businesses could do, and that type of thing. So we wrote it for them. All they had to do was implement it. And so that's the kind of leadership that I hope to bring to District 2 City Council.
Let's get into a couple of tough questions.
Those weren't tough? No, I'm just kidding. Those weren't the tough questions? Okay.
Let's address the big elephant in the room.
Okay.
First of all, number one, we all know Tuskegee has struggled with issues related to transparency and trust in local government. What steps will you take to rebuild that trust?
That is an excellent outreach. First of all, let me tell you that I feel I have the heart of the people. I don't want to talk about what someone has not done over the last 50 or so years that they've been involved with politics. But what I will talk about is that the promises were not kept. And we can all discuss the concerns and the problems. We all know what the problem is. What I bring to the table is honesty and integrity, transparency, and what I will let you know what the issues are, how we would need to address them, and if there's some challenges, I will let you know what kind of challenges we have, and we can work together to develop those. So let me give you an example. We have talked about infrastructure, we've talked about increasing visibility. We talked about 24-hour care, health, but none of those things were addressed over the last administration. And so let me say that now is the time for a new voice, a fresh vision with proven leadership. And I say proven leadership because I have proven over the last 5 years with no incentive whatsoever but to serve my people that I can get the job done. I've shown that as a director of Macon County Healthcare Authority, and I want to bring that same energy and foresight to the City Council for District 2.
In your opinion, what is the biggest mistake that the current City Council has made, and how would you have handled it differently?
While I respect the services of the current office holders, I believe District 2 is ready for a more engaged and transparent and action-oriented approach to leadership. And here's what I would do differently. I would have a consistent community engagement. I will hold monthly meetings and listening sessions. There's a difference in just saying on the third Wednesday you can come and sit down and listen to me talk. I want to listen to what the community is saying and what their goals and aspirations are. And I would talk about, I would change accountability and transparency. I would provide regular updates on initiatives, budgets, and decisions so residents know exactly what's happening and why it's happening. One of the first things I would do when I take office is to conduct a forensic type accountability. Look into everything that's happening in the budget, what projects are taking place in District 2, and to have an accountability of what's missing in those gaps. I'd have proactive problem solving. We don't have proactive. We are more reactive today than we are proactive. So rather than waiting for issues to escalate, I would work collaboratively with our community and our board to address issues before they become a problem. Strategic planning and follow through. We don't have a strategic plan for the city of Tuskegee. What are we planning to do for the next 20 to 50 years? How are we going to make this sustainable for our children and our children's children? So I would like to work together to clearly develop a measurable strategic plan that will address the different issues of infrastructure, economic development, and public safety, and to ensure that those goals are tracked, that activities are accounted for as we move forward. I have a faith-based and grassroots partnership. My faith is what anchors me into what service. So I am a servant leader rather than a leader above everyone else. I work with the people, not above the people, and I work for the people, not in spite of the people. So I will actively partner with churches, nonprofits, economic developers, and organizations to expand services and opportunities for all the residents, especially those in District 2. And in short, I will lead with heart. I will lead with humility and a hands-on approach to discuss those things that are important to the citizens of District 2 and those citizens that deserve a leadership that will listen and act and deliver on what they have asked.
Tell the audience something about Bernice Frazier that most people don't know.
What I would want people to know about me, something you wouldn't find on a flyer or on the website, and that is I'm committed to the community. It comes from a place of deep faith that started with my family. My mother, who was involved in community service all her life, and I would just follow behind her as we went from neighborhood to neighborhood to address issues and concerns when I lived in Dayton, Ohio. It's a personal sacrifice and it's a genuine love that I have. I've experienced loss. I've walked through seasons of uncertainty, and I've leaned on my faith and the community to get me through. And I know what it means to serve when nobody's looking. I know what it means to be out there, and it's hard to lead without compassion if you're doing it for the community and the people. And that's why I'm here today. I feel that I can provide to the people what they need at this time. As I said earlier, we're at a crossroads. The decisions we make are vital. They're going to determine what we will be for the next 50 years. We want our children and our children's children to stay here in Tuskegee, to help it grow and develop. And we can only do that if we do it together. And it's about you. It is not about me. It is about this community and what we can do and grow together. And together, we can make Tuskegee phenomenal.
Understanding your commitment to District 2 and the welfare of that community, how will you ensure that the needs of all the neighborhoods in Tuskegee, including the historically underserved areas, are addressed fairly and equitably?
Well, you know, I have a saying I've said several times, that the best man for the job is a woman. And I say this without flinching because I know what I bring to the table. I bring leadership rooted in service, a clear moral compass, the ability to multitask under pressure and listen with empathy, and the ability to make tough decisions with grace. I have navigated real life. I've had to raise a family. I work at the same time. I know what it is to be out there, and your word should be your bond, while also contributing to the civic progress through community service. So these are not just abstract skills. They are the foundation of effective leadership. And the city does not need more talk. What we need now is traction. We need action. We need accountability, not arrogance. I didn't need to sit in here and tell you all about me, because it's about you. And at this moment, Tuskegee needs it more than ever. We're pivotal. With everything that's happening on the national basis, we have to ensure that Tuskegee remains a beacon of hope, where people like you and me can thrive and grow. And so when I say the best man for the job is a woman, I know these words may shake the room wherever it may be going. And I'm fine with that, because that shows I'm willing to be a disruptor for a cause. And I think that there is no better cause right now than the future of Tuskegee as a whole. And that's what I will bring as your representative, as one of the representatives on the City Council for Tuskegee, Alabama. I ask that you support me, that you get out to vote on August the 26th. Come early so you can go back and pick up your neighbors and your friends and your family and your co-workers, to bring them all to the polls, because it is important. You've seen what happened when you don't get out to vote. You see what type of people you put into office when you don't come out and vote. Your vote is phenomenal. It is important. It is the key to our future. Together is how we will develop Tuskegee. This isn't a one-man show. This is a group show. This is a citizens show. This is a Tuskegee, Alabama show, and it is a District 2 show. And I ask you to support me as we move forward.
There you have it, Tuskegee. Ms. Bernice Frazier, seeking your vote in the city municipal elections for District 2. Thank you for being on the forum.
Thank you so much for having me, Patrick. And again, I say, your vote is important. A voteless people is a hopeless people. And we're not hopeless. We're developers and growers. Thank you.